Thank you, Sandeep Bhai, and everyone. Actually, I'm going to follow on from Sandeep Bhai with this story of Acharya Stulibhadra. I think we're going to tie up some of the things we just talked about. So, in the days of Mahavir Bhagwan, and for 1,000 years after, Jain scriptures were memorized and passed orally from guru to disciple. Does anyone understand what I'm saying? What does orally mean?
By using words.
By words, by not writing, yeah? By recitation, by passing the words from one to the other. Some people could really memorize the scriptures well, but some people couldn't. And over time, slowly but surely, some of them were not fully memorized. Jain history indicates that Acharya Bhadrabahu, who was the last monk who had complete verbal knowledge of all the Jain scriptures, and Acharya Bhadrabahu was around after about 200 years of Mahavir Bhagwan, approximately. So at that point, everything that Mahavir Bhagwan had spoken about was remembered fully and completely. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. And at the same time, 300 years ago, after Mahavir Bhagwan, Stulibhadra was born. He was a disciple of Acharya Bhadrabahu. And under his, as a student, he learned all the 11 of the 12 main scriptures of Jainism, which are called the Agams. At the same time, about 300 years after Mahavir Bhagwan's death, after Mahavir Bhagwan's birth, but about 250 years after Mahavir Bhagwan's death, there was a major famine in India. What is a famine? Yeah, lack of food. What is a famine? Anyone know what a famine is?
Lack of food, lack of water.
Yeah, so basically during a famine, nothing grows. Yeah, so there is very little food. People, animals start dying, even people start dying, and there have been many famines. So that famine, there was a lot of hardships, not just for humans, but also for the monks, because they couldn't practice some of the things they wanted to practice. So, for example, they couldn't necessarily stay in one place because they had to travel more for food and so on. And also because of the famine and because of the lack of getting enough food, some of the memories started failing of the monks. And some of these agams, the 12 main agams, some of that information started getting lost. Yeah? So how many of you, if you haven't had enough food or if you're not in the right mood, you forget? Do we forget sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Now, because of this famine, what happened was Acharya Bhadrabahu said, look, it's very hard for me to support myself and all my disciples, and I'm going to go to Nepal. I'm going to travel to Nepal. So he made the journey from the state of Bihar all the way to Nepal. And Stulibhadra decided to stay in the state of Bihar, in a place called Pataliputra, which is near Patna. It's right next to Patna at the moment. However, do you remember the 12? Stulibhadra only learned the 11 agams, not the 12th agam. Do you remember that? So he only had knowledge of the 11 agams, not the 12th agam. Only Acharya Bhadrabahu had the knowledge of the 12th agam. This famine lasted for 12 years, a long time. After the famine finished, Acharya or Stulibhadra decided to recompile the Jain scriptures. Okay, what does recompile mean? Anyone know?
Redo the scriptures.
Redo the scriptures, okay? But recompile means that everyone doesn't have all the knowledge. So he gets a whole group of people together and says, okay, what do you remember? What do you remember? What do you remember? What do I remember? To try and make sure that all that knowledge can be brought back together. Does that make sense? Yeah? That's what recompilation is. So there was a very big convention, a very, very big conference that was held, and they went around and recompiled all those 11 agams. And none of the monks could remember the 12th agam. And the 12th agam also had some verses that none of the monks could actually remember. But now the issue was that Acharya Bhadrabahu was in Nepal. And someone has to go to Nepal to get this knowledge. Does anyone know what happened in Nepal recently? Yeah, so Owen Sadhvi Shilapiji was there, Ritaben was there, Bakulbai was there. So in a similar way, Stulibhadra said, I'm going to go to Nepal. And how many miles away did it was Nepal? Anyone know from Bihar roughly? Anyone want to guess?
1,000.
Not 1,000.
Million.
Not a million.
500.
Okay. Kilan, you need to learn more at home. Right. So it was 200 miles, but it was going on foot, yeah, and going up mountains. So he traveled that long journey to learn from Acharya Bhadrabahu. And when he got there, he learned from Acharya Bhadrabahu, started learning from Acharya Bhadrabahu about the 12th scripture. At that point, some of Stulibhadra's sisters, who were nuns, decided to visit Nepal. At this time, Stulibhadra was still learning the 12th agam, but it gave him very special powers. This knowledge gave him very special power. And what he decided to do is, when his sisters visited him, to show them how powerful he was, he turned into a lion. Or he looked like a lion. And guess what happened to the sisters?
They got very scared.
They got very scared. Okay. So they got very scared. And at that point, they ran away. And they went to Bhadrabahu Swami, who immediately thought, I know what's happened here. Stulibhadra's playing tricks. He's turned into a lion to show his power. And Acharya Bhadrabahu was very disappointed with Stulibhadra because he used his knowledge in the wrong way.
So he gave up teaching him the 12th scripture.
Okay. Wait till that part. Okay. And what he felt, what Acharya Bhadrabahu said, and what Chandipai said, was that knowledge is also very powerful, and you have to use knowledge wisely. So what Stulibhadra said to what Acharya Bhadrabahu said to Stulibhadra, he said, I think you are not mature enough to learn the full 12th agam, and I'm not going to teach you 4 of the parts of the 12th agam. Stulibhadra was very, very disappointed. He traveled all the way to Nepal for 200 miles to learn this agam. And because of what he'd done, he used that power in the wrong way. Acharya Bhadrabahu said, sorry, I'm not going to teach you this because you could use it in the wrong way. And he really begged to Acharya Bhadrabahu, please, please teach me. Finally, Acharya Bhadrabahu relented, but he gave 2 things, 2 reasons, two rules. He said that he would teach Stulibhadra, but he would not teach him everything to do with the agam, in case he used it in the wrong way. And he also said that he could not recite this agam to anyone else. What he'd been told, he should not recite. So Bhadrabahu told the agam to Stulibhadra, but not the full meaning of the agam, and also he was not allowed to recite it to anyone else. Stulibhadra agreed. And from this, what we've learned is that it is really important to gain knowledge, but that knowledge must be used wisely. At this moment in time, Acharya Stulibhadra, who then became the head of the monks, or might actually be the head of the monks at that stage, really is well renowned within Jainism, because he really tried very hard to make sure that knowledge was brought together, recompiled. He traveled that long distance to make sure he got that knowledge from Acharya Bhadrabahu. So we really renown him and hold him, at a similar level to Mahavir Bhagwan and Gautam Swami. In summary, during Nan Pancham, we should remember how Acharya Stulibhadra played a major role to preserve the scriptures. We've also learned that sometimes it takes much effort to get knowledge. And we have also learned from this story that when we get knowledge, we must use it wisely. Jai Gnana.